really, really sorry. Did I wake you up? I don't know. I just woke up and I can't fall asleep again. No, everything's fine. I don't really remember having a nightmare, but maybe I did. I don't know. I just kind of woke up and feel kind of weird and I can't really relax. And I was wondering if you could keep me company for a little bit. Thank you. You have always been absolutely incredible. Yeah, like I said, it's no big deal at all. I'll be fine. So, I heard you got a new coworker. Have you two been getting along? Well, I'm glad to hear that you two buried the hatchet, because that might have been really, really awkward. Oh, come here, baby. Come here, baby. Hey. Hey, you. Oh. No. Hold on. I'm sorry, hold on just a second. Here. You can't be on the table. Come here. Come here. Hey. I love you to the moon and back. But you can't be effing up the table right now. Here, come on. I know. Bye-bye. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Oh, did I tell you what happened the other day? So, I was sitting on the couch upstairs, and he was downstairs working on a project. And I was sitting there, and I was reading, and it was pretty quiet otherwise, and suddenly I hear this whistle. It sounded almost like someone whistling for a dog. It wasn't like the trees or like anything like that. It was definitely someone whistling. It happened once, and then it kind of happened a second time shortly after. And I just assumed that he had come back upstairs and I hadn't noticed, and he was just up here making noise or something. And then, a little while later, he actually did come upstairs. Right? I'm not gonna lie, I got a little, like, yeah, definitely something that stuck with me for a little bit. And I told him about it, but I'm sure he thought I was crazy at the time. And then, a little while later, some days later, he was downstairs, and that time he heard it. So, he come back upstairs, and he was like, okay, I get it. So, I realized that it's weird to happen, but at the same time, I was really, really happy that he heard it because I felt like validated. Yeah, well, it's not even the first time that something weird has happened. There was, this one time, and it's been a few years ago now, but he and I were downstairs, and I was watching TV, and he was next to me on the couch playing guitar, and the cat was lying on the ground, or not the ground, but the floor. And he says, hey, look at that. And I look over at the table, and there was a pair of scissors, and the tip of the scissors was going up and down and up and down, just all on its own. It never got to the point where it was like standing up or anything, but it was definitely noticeable. And as we were sitting there watching, like, what the hell is going on? They just kind of fell over off the table and onto the ground. And I thought, this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. And I'm not gonna lie, like, I'm like, is this gonna turn into a situation, like, are they just gonna fly at us now? Like, it was, in those moments, reality's kind of suspended, and you're like, yeah, maybe we should do something about this. So he grabbed the scissors, and he wrapped electrical tape around the tip of them, and they are still in a cabinet somewhere because that's not something we really want to mess around with. Yeah, I know, and I'm sure it sounds like I'm full of shit or something, but this is 100% true. Oh, and just recently, this was very recent, just a few days ago, I was sitting on my bed and I was working on a project. It was like 6 o'clock in the morning, and from the kitchen to the hallway, I hear these footsteps. And then from the hallway to the front door, once again, footsteps. And I get really worried, thinking oh my God, he stayed home from work, he's sick. Or maybe he's overslept and is just now going to work. So I rush up out of bed and I go check the door, and nobody's there. Nobody's there. I kind of glance around the living room, I take a peek in the kitchen, and nowhere to be found. I did see the cat, but I'm pretty sure that these were not kitty cat footsteps. So, yeah, it was pretty wild. Now, I'm not saying that I don't, or I'm not saying that I believe in all that stuff, or even what all that stuff really means. Maybe it actually is ghosts or energy left behind or whatever. Or maybe it's like the movie and our simulation that we're stuck in is glitching. Or maybe it's somewhere on another plane. What is actually occurring is other versions of ourselves. Maybe the scissors were moving because on another plane I was actually using them, or he was using them, or maybe the cat was knocking them around, or maybe I heard the footsteps because somewhere out there I was going to work or he was going to work, right? And at these points where these things are all happening at once, it's like these separate areas are just kind of smushing together and making up our own one big reality. And again, I'm not saying I believe any of these things, but I couldn't really say that I don't either, because you never know. It's like that Nirvana song. Just because you're paranoid, don't mean they're not after you. I know I feel kind of weird talking about this, but this is just the sort of stuff that I think about when I wake up at 2:30 in the morning and I can't get back to sleep. And people wonder why I have sleep problems, right? Silly, overactive brain. Yeah, I'm fine, I'll be fine. I hope you're fine too. I didn't mean to disturb you. You're so amazing. Thank you for listening to me and being patient with me and all that fun stuff. Yeah, we've got to catch up very soon, preferably in daylight hours, and maybe not at this house. Anyway, I'm so sorry to have bothered